We started with anti-aging, but your organs are aging.
Yeah.
And are your organs the age they should be? Have you got the organs of a 90-year-old or have you got the organs of a 30-year-old? You can't tell until you test. Because people are living this lifestyle thinking, because you can't see it and you've got no symptoms, they'll come. The symptoms will come at some point. But you think, I'm getting away with it. I'm all right. You've got to think about what you're doing for long term, really.
On today's episode of Spill the Tea with LLIB, we are lucky enough to have not one doctor, but two doctors on the couch, Dr. Samantha and Dr. Andre. Can you share with our listeners more about your business and the unique aspects that set it apart?
Yeah, so we started within aesthetics, but now we're moving more to a holistic approach, so internal medicine. So we're trying to, our mission is to try and make people healthier, try and live longer. It's not easy. We're offering people supplements. We've got a new range of supplements out, all plant-based proteins. We've designed these with Oxford University scientists who are really excited about this. And this is, I don't know if you want to talk a bit about more what's in the supplements.
Yeah, sure. We would. I'm a physician. You're a pharmacist and doctor of cancer research. And so we came together to bring these areas together into one clinic. And so we're looking to change the way you think about being healthy long term and the avoidance of disease. We're all about the avoidance of disease. We're very good at treating disease. It's much more fun to avoid it than it is to actually treat it in the first place. And so we're using our skills to test you early and find out some things about yourself you wouldn't know necessarily, that the health service would never do. And by that construct, we can keep you healthy longer, healthy years. No one seems to want to live forever. You ask people, do you want to live forever?
We get a lot of people saying
no.
that. We say, because when we say people, we're all about longevity, helping you live longer. The first thing people say to me is, I don't want to live forever. And I say, well, it's not about that. It's about being healthy.
Yeah.
When you go into the longevity science area or what we're doing, it's all about making people healthier to make you live longer. So that's what we're aiming for. We're trying to reduce cardiovascular risk, diabetes, cancer, neurodegenerative disease. And the evidence is there, it can be done.
Yeah.
We've got the evidence now. Now we look at aging. Aging has been classified as a disease itself now, which a lot of people don't know. It is the disease that causes everything else. When you look at sort of the biology of it, the aging process, this is causing everything else that's going wrong. So they've shown that they can reverse it now.
Yeah.
The actual scientific evidence for that.
Wow.
It's slow, but these are the things we're trying to adopt, aren't we, really? So
Yeah, that's right.
I think trying to bring it to people, which is not easy, because a lot of people aren't into prevention at the moment.
I think the thought of not wanting to live forever comes from the fact that people are aging badly. So we look at some of our 70-year-old community now, and 70 for some people is still incredibly young, isn't it? And they're active and they're out walking still every day, and doing all their own shopping, living very independent lives, not dependent upon any family member, still traveling, still living a good life. And then we have the other side of 70, which is those people who are pretty much housebound and very dependent on carers or family members coming in. And I think there's that aspect of not wanting to age badly, so not wanting to live forever in that state.
Yeah, exactly. No one wants to be in that state.
No.
You don't want to be in that state. You don't want to be a burden to your family.
No.
We've worked in the medical area for a long time. We've seen people dying. We've seen people also. I've been in cancer research for a long time, and when you see these things, it's awful to watch.
Yeah.
And some of it could be prevented. And now we can.
Yeah.
And it's just getting people in that mindset, because you're just looking at, the analogy is always a car. I know it's really boring to say, but you wouldn't treat your car the way you treat your body.
Yeah.
We look on the outside and we look great. But what's going on in here? We do anti-aging. We started with anti-aging, but your organs are aging.
Yeah.
And are your organs the age they should be? Or have you got the organs of a 90-year-old, or have you got the organs of a 30-year-old? You can't tell until you test. We do those biological aging tests, and it's quite interesting. Because people are living this lifestyle thinking, because you can't see it and you've got no symptoms, they'll come. The symptoms will come at some point. But you think, I'm getting away with it. I'm all right. You've got to think about what you're doing for long term, really.
Yeah. It's a bit of a sharp wake-up call, that side, isn't it? That on the outside you can look 21.
That's why it's hard to sell to people, because people sometimes just don't want to know.
Yeah.
Some people have, I don't want to know. I want to carry on doing what I'm doing. But if you see yourself in 20 years, would you go back and say, actually, I wish I'd done that then. I wish I'd, because we talk to elderly patients all the time when they say that kind of thing. Wish I'd stopped smoking. Wish I'd ate better. Wish I'd done more exercise. But it's too late.
Yeah.
But, it's just all about re-education, letting people know that there are options, and, we need to think about how we can get that into. We don't want to change people's lives drastically, because people, it's got to be manageable, something you can do. And you can do these things. They're quite easy things to do.
Absolutely.
I'm not asking people to change their lives completely, but something they can bring in really helps.
And I love the fact that, like, your early intervention, because I feel like
right out my mouth.
It's a term that in all sectors is bandied about very, very freely, isn't it? And we all, in education, early intervention's key, if a child's slipping behind, early intervention, early
Mental
intervention
health.
for mental health and well-being, don't let it spiral. Early intervention, go and see your doctor if you notice the first signs. And yet often our waiting lists are so long that early intervention actually isn't possible, is it?
No.
So I love what you're doing in that field of, let's prevent this.
That's right. I mean, we have very advanced cancer testing, which is
it's incredible.
a brand new test that will find cancer in the absolute earliest stage, long before you have symptoms. It's not a cheap test, unfortunately, because this science is very, very new. But I mean, we're married. We should say we've been married for 30 years.
30 years.
And we have a daughter, and she was. We recognised that she was neurodiverse at a very early age, and so from the age of 3. We built that sort of anti-anxiety cocoon around her, so she would not suffer long term. So we had not found that out early, the outcome could be very different. And so the same thing applies. If you can find these things so early, cancer is a very, very weak disease in the early stage. It's feeble. We can treat it in so many ways very effectively in the early stage. Late stage, it's a completely different disease. Yeah. So whatever you can do to find these moments in your life whereby you suddenly see a pickup in the blood and you go, that is hallmark of cancer. Now we must search and find out where it is. It will save your life and change 100%. Things forever that way. So, but these are new interventions. They're very
brand
exciting,
new, very high. We work with a genetics cancer lab, and they're looking at cancer stem cells in the blood. You only need 5 ml of blood. It's incredible, the science. And they get the result back, and they can see and they can grade it. And if you've got cancer anywhere in your body, and this is just like, we're not talking tumours at this stage. This is just a couple of cells. They can detect it straight away. Wow. And not that you can do much at that point because there's nothing to remove, but you can be monitored then. Yeah. And any signs, it'd be treated very early. You will survive. You will not. It will not have a chance to grow into anything.
I feel really privileged to even having this conversation on the show, because it's so much education for us as well as our viewers.
And that's what we like to go out and talk to people, because we promote it on our socials, but it's hard to get across to people because we're passionate about it. Social media is hard
as well, isn't it?
Yeah, we're passionate about it, and often I do talks on it, and the response I get, from it, and people are, Andre's right, it's not a cheap test at the moment. It will become cheaper in the future. It's brand new, so it's going to be expensive, but it depends. We have people coming to us, they've got family histories. Like a patient of mine, she had both her parents, weirdly, unfortunately, died of pancreatic cancer. So she is 36 and she was paranoid about getting it. So it's an ideal test for her. She has it annually and it'll pick it up. It's a lifesaver. It'll save her life, because pancreatic cancer is the worst. The worst, because by the time you get symptoms, it's very hard to detect, and you've only got a few weeks to live when they find it. It's they can't do much about it. So it's the worst one. So she's paranoid, as you'd imagine. Yeah. And having both her parents, who are not genetically related, getting it. So it's ideal for people like that. She finds the money because she wants peace of mind, for her and her family. But
obviously not everyone, they are expensive tests in that sense. Not everyone can do them.
No.
So hence we thought, well, the precursor to the illnesses is when your metabolism starts to go a bit wobbly. Okay, and we see this everywhere. People feeling tired, using sugar, using caffeine to excess to try and get through a day. And their bodies are not optimized at all. The metabolism is askew, and this leads to further issues, and then inflammation, and then disease. So whilst not everybody can have a high-level cancer test, unfortunately, we thought, well, let's design products which are the best of the phytonutrients out there, like an 8-in-1 capsule, which you can take every day, which is designed by top longevity scientists with our help too, to optimize mood, appetite, sleep, fat burn, sugar control, muscle build. And that's why we developed the optimum range.
Because it optimizes the body. That's why we called it optimum, because it's on a cellular level. Because I've got a PhD in molecular biology genetics as well. So this is working on the cellular level. How do you make the cell work efficiently in the body? So if obviously the cells are working efficiently, the organs, the tissue, everything will work efficiently. So that's why we've created these stacks. So it's helping the cell to become optimized. You will become optimized. And it's all, we've done it with all plant proteins. It's all natural. There's no additives in it.
Are these available now
Yes,
to
that's
buy?
right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And where can our viewers go to?
Yeah, so we've got those now. And
So
we're
you
bringing more out.
It's the site. It's called Oxford Natural, which is our name of our
so
company.
Oxford
And it's called
Natural,
the Optimum Day and Night is the range there, which will do that.
fantastic.
And so we do for a month, 2 months, 3 months. We've got lots of great people from Liverpool, like Michael Owen.
Michael Owen's on it.
But lots of
we've had
really
a few
well-known
celebs
people taking
come and
it.
talk about they're taking it and feeling. And we've helped Michael Owen quite a lot. He looks amazing. He looks so much better.
See improvements in sleep.
See improvement in sleep.
Mood.
It helps with
appetite,
weight loss as well, because it stabilises the blood sugars,
Of course.
and it pushes fat metabolism and muscle metabolism. It you lose weight with it.
And what's the youngest age that you can take these?
Yeah, but
Children can
probably
take
from
it.
sort of
Because the plants
about
and
10
the
onwards,
plant-
that sort
yeah,
of thing.
10
So,
onwards.
Wow.
They think it's a capsule, so you've got to be able to
The thing is, it's
swallow
quite.
the capsule.
It's not
in that
large.
sense.
It's for children might just struggle, but you can open a capsule and
You mentioned neurodiversity before with your little one. Would these be suitable for children with neurodiversities? And how would that help them, as well as on the inside, is the like stabilising the mood and things like that that you were saying?
Yeah, because we've got 5-HTP in there as well, which is a mood stabiliser.
Wow.
So again, it's just going to make everything function easier, help blood flow, everything will work better. Some data with that, isn't there, for neurodiversity? We've got that because it's some of the I can't remember which one. Is it the L-ketoglutarate in there, isn't it? Yeah. So there's one compound in there that is for nerves and neurology sort of side.
We also have in our clinic. We also have oxygen chambers, so hyperbaric oxygen chambers.
Yeah, we use
are very
those
good
as well.
for
They're good for
neurodiversity too, in terms
we have a
of
lot of
blood
people
flow,
with ADHD.
oxygen flow to the brain, which is very important when it comes to.
I think we need a visit to the clinic. I think we should have done the podcast.
We're always in the oxygen
all the
chambers.
guests, yeah.
Fantastic, those oxygen chambers. But yeah, we're just looking at how we can help people, and these supplements just seem to be, because they're easy to take.
Yeah.
You know, we can do. Not everybody wants to come for lots of blood tests, but the blood tests are good as a sort of a control to see where you're at.
Yeah.
You know, what is your body like inside? You know, is it functioning right? Because as you were saying a bit earlier, when you go to the doctors, you've got symptoms. It's not always too late, but you've got the symptoms. Something's not right. Something's not working properly. So we want to, you always use that analogy of on the cliff, don't you? Sort of, you know, when we're trying to get people at the edge of the cliff, we're trying to pull you back. So you don't go off the cliff. By the time you go off the cliff, that's the time you go to see the doctor. You've already got symptoms.
It really is.
The doctor's there, and the doctor's got to try and fix you then. If we're trying to keep you back really far from that cliff, so you don't have to go to the doctor. You don't get the symptoms in the first place. You know,
and I
this
feel
is what
like
we're trying to aim for.
The symptoms are so easy to ignore in a modern day life, aren't they? You know, you mentioned before, like, you know, the tiredness and the lack of energy and the... Everyone thinks that that's a normal way to live. Everyone thinks that that's, you know, that's natural. Yeah, you know, I'm shattered today.
You were never that way as a kid.
No.
As a kid, you had no understanding of energy, ups and downs. You woke up, you like ran around like a crazy thing, and then switched off. And that's really how it should be. Now, you know, I've taken these supplements for quite a while, and I love my tea the way you ladies do too. But I really struggle to drink it now. Because my energy is just so pigged all day. Any additional things
would just...
I'm just a bit shaky, a bit odd. And so I feel that there's no dip now. I just feel there is morning and there's night time.
It controls your whole day for 24 hours because the capsules are day and night. Scientists we were talking to, when they've designed them, they say you need to have a good day in order to have a good night.
That's very true.
So you've got to control the day, and that will help you sleep better. And also when you're sleeping, there's a lot of metabolic processes going on. And that's when you take the night ones, it supports all those metabolic processes that are happening in the body while you're asleep. So the ingredients in there are designed to do that. They're trying to keep you on a level. So
it's genius.
And that's what they do.
Yes.
Yeah. And also they're still doing research all the time. So if they find another ingredient that would be suitable or better we'll exchange it. We've got that freedom because we make them
Yeah,
ourselves. We say, actually,
physically, we actually get the powder.
There's evidence come out that
factory
this is good.
in Manchester.
Let's put it in.
Make the
We actually
tests.
physically
so we can
make
adjust
them,
it as we want.
We can adjust it, yeah.
And going
So
forward, we'll probably, we've got an even newer blood test coming through, which is, if I explained it, you see there's no way that exists in terms of where you can map out not just your genes for disease, which is useful to know, but how much those genes are being expressed and how close you're getting to each disease, and which supplement works and which ones don't. And then we can do that blood test and then make the supplement you need on that particular day to keep those conditions away, and then check you next year and see if your genes now are expressing less of that.
Wow.
So that sort of thing is not too far away from us.
We're looking at making tailored supplements
so really,
for people.
really individual,
so we do it from that.
Just for you.
So if you're lacking in something or you don't, so we're able to. We're going to call that one unique. We've got it already, but it'll be a blood test or this test, and we'll just have a look and see what because some things you won't be able to metabolize properly in your body.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes you can't. Some people can't metabolize drugs in the same way as others can.
Yeah.
So it's a waste of time giving it you. So you know, some of this, but you may benefit from something else.
Yeah.
But you don't know until you look at your genes. You see what genes, and it's incredible, these tests that we can get now.
It's amazing.
Yeah, some of the labs we were in touch with.
Yeah.
But it's like cutting edge science. It's exciting.
I just feel a little bit sad that the cost is so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's the downside.
Yeah.
And we are as well.
Yeah.
Because they charge us a lot of money to have them. So we have to pass
absolutely.
it. But
It's absolutely
in time, it will
worth
come down.
the
It's
money.
It just depends on you I don't want to say enough, but how you
it's
value
prioritising.
your... Yeah, some people will
Prioritising
prioritise their health
things.
more than others.
Yeah.
And that's fair enough. But we just want people to know these things are available.
Yeah.
And it's about awareness, isn't it? Because we don't even know they exist.
I love the
No.
fact that you haven't just got that blood test out. You've actually seen that and gone, do you know what? What can we do for the everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, everyone, what can we... And then you've made the supplements, and that is, you know, you've got those two levels of being able to start. And then, you know, then go for the blood test. But it's like what you said, it's prioritising.
It is prioritising.
People wouldn't think twice about booking a holiday to somewhere really hot because they think that that's going to be good for the well-being and I need a break. And actually, this is going to be even better for
and
you.
we all know it, and we always say it, but there's nothing more important than your health.
Absolutely.
I know people say it and they just band it about, but it's true.
But
You've got
I think
nothing
it's
if you're not
healthy people who say that generally, isn't it? Because you can only truly value your health when you have been unhealthy.
And then you've been through something or watched somebody.
Yeah.
It's nice that the design of the supplement. It does very much have cost in mind because we all have a cupboard somewhere full of stuff we've sort of picked up over the years, and we'll come down one day. I feel a bit tired. I'll go for those ones. You know. And they're quite expensive. You know, they mount up. And we have like an 18-1 capsule, which if you went to Holden and Barrett,
you went and bought them all
cost you
separately.
over £200.
Wow.
Yeah.
And ours is in the region of £50. You know, so because we've made it, and you're paying no extra for extra bottles, extra lids, extra advertising.
We made all the capsules vegan as well, so we've kept it all.
Yeah,
it's very, 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 very available to everybody.
Yeah. Sounds like you've really listened and you've really
6 years in the making. Yeah. So it's been like a lot of research, a lot of evidence, a lot of data. So these things work.
They really are terrific.
They feel great on them.
I was surprised how good they work when the scientists.
Yeah, because when you take them, you're hoping they work, don't you?
I think everyone in the studio has probably got their phones out looking for these capsules now.
They do. I feel like really great on them, and we're getting a lot of good feedback from patients that are on them. We've got a few people lost quite a bit of weight. Weight loss, sleep. They keep saying to us, I feel better. I'm not drinking as much caffeine. Don't need it because it's got natural. It's got green tea extract in it. It's got guarana in it, which is a natural for energy. So you don't feel you dip in the day. It keeps you going.
So you mentioned obviously you're both doctors. What inspired you then? Where did this? Because this is just a lot. Where did this come from then? What's the journey been like for both of you? To get to this stage now, what does that look like?
For me, I've been a doctor for over 30 years now. And I've got to tell you, when I first started being a doctor, treating illness was fun. You felt like a hero. You go in, solve things. But really, after maybe a decade, 2 decades, I thought it's so much nicer to avoid this situation in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay, because whilst I make you better, I feel good, you're not really better. You've come... damaged, and I'm keeping you sort of semi-damaged.
You end up patching people up.
So in some way, it is a patch up. I said to you that last night. The idea that if you walk down the street and someone just walks into a car's path, you pull them backwards.
Yeah.
That's a nice situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If they get hit and you walk up and go, I'll call you an ambulance.
Yeah.
It's not the same. You
No.
do them a favour,
Yeah.
but it's
They're
much
pulling them
better
back,
to pull
yeah.
them back in the first
They
place.
thank
And
you
so
for that,
At
yeah.
some point, it just changed. I was much more keen to avoid everyone getting ill than just treating a handful of people a day.
Yeah, because I'm a clinical pharmacist as well, so I still work for the NHS one day a week just to keep my hand in really with that. But I see a lot of sick patients. I do a lot of prescribing for sick patients, and it's just, I feel like it's sad. There's a lot of people
really
out.
sad.
It's sad, yeah. I see a lot of, and when you've been doing it for years and years and years, you just think, this could be like prevented. And it's just, we've helped people, we've saved people's lives, we've had all different situations we've been in, and it's just nice to try and help people, isn't it?
Sure.
But we are all about re-education.
Yeah.
That's all it takes, really. It's just that for people to realise and just to know there's other options. You don't have to. We all know the NHS is struggling. It is struggling. So we really should be looking after ourselves a bit better, so we're not relying on the NHS.
Yeah.
But people, when we work in the NHS, people just rely on it heavily.
Yeah.
And they're just abusing themselves or not looking after themselves, coming and hoping we'll
because
fix
they
them.
know it's
And
there. They
sometimes
know
we can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know that they can fall and there's a trampoline there ready
That's why when we
to
look
try
at
and
prevention, prevention is much easier to sell abroad because they don't have the NHS abroad. They've got private medical, so it's within their interest to keep healthy, so they don't have all these bills to pay. So we have this sort of, the NHS will sort us out. We've got that, it's free, NHS will sort us out.
And there's so much pressure, so much pressure on the NHS.
So much pressure on the NHS. It's failing all over the place, and I don't know how they're going to fix it yet, but we've got to think about, let's try and not use the NHS. Let's try and keep ourselves well so we don't have to use the NHS.
Everybody should be doing as a priority anyway.
It is, but
you look after your children, you should be taking
some people
care
are on
of
board
yourself.
with it. You see a lot of people more into their health and eating well and exercising, so they're there. But, there's more they can do. There's more things you can do. Unfortunately, some situations cannot be helped. It's genetic or whatever it might be. But a lot of the time, we just think things can be changed. And that's what we're passionate about, really. Just trying to help people.
So what do you find most fulfilling then about the work that you do?
I don't know, because it's just really seeing patients happy, seeing them feel better about themselves. Obviously, we still do aesthetics as well. So, just where we can help people feel more confident, or, just when we get patients giving us feedback saying, I feel fantastic. Thank you so much. You've really helped me. It's just lovely. It's lovely getting that feedback off people.
Yeah, it's
just satisfaction, isn't it?
Yeah, so even from these sort of the non-surgical means, sometimes someone's got an obvious difficulty they've had since they were a kid, like just no jaw or just something which is it's held them back in so many ways. And you see them, you do something, you construct something new, you just turn their face into a better version for them, whereby you suddenly see the beauty of other parts of their face so much more. Every face is beautiful. Every face has fantastic features. Sometimes something holds you back, and you just improve that one area, and the whole face just appears. And they suddenly love
you see their
parts of
eyes
the face
and
you haven't
it's
even
lovely.
touched.
And
that's the best thing.
That is
But then they
lovely.
start to appreciate what is really beautiful about them. And often the work you do fades in a couple of years because it's not permanent. And then they see the world doesn't treat them any differently when it goes. And they were actually the person they were anyway. And this was just something they had thought was maybe a negative, when actually it was not such a big deal. And they would learn to love the bits of the face we never even touched.
That's,
So if you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be?
You smiling?
Yeah. I suppose just everyone sees me as everyone I work with, all my colleagues, everybody just like this stable, secure character. They're just cool, don't get flustered, always get everything done. And I'd like to be remembered for that, because I'm not like that. Because inside I'm like Andre says, the swan, feet are like this underneath. I'm like thinking, oh my God, when patients ask me questions, I go, can't remember what that is. I just keep cool. And I just want people to trust me, I suppose, and just see that I've got their best interests at heart, and just don't want to, just want to keep it together. And that's the image I want to portray of myself. But it's hard. Because I'm also neurodiverse. I've got autism as well, like my daughter. So it's difficult. It's more challenging for me. But I put my professional persona on, so people think I'm this amazing But actually, I do have a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
But I hide it well, I guess.
I think that's going to be amazing for so many of our viewers to hear that as well, because when you hear autism, you automatically see the challenges and the barriers that hold you back, when actually you're sitting there and look what you've created. Like, that's what our parents and carers need to hear for their children, and not what they can't do and what they're not going to be able to do, and the barriers that are going to be there.
Yeah, it doesn't have to stop you. Yeah. I mean, I'm only just on the spectrum, really. I'm not, I'm functioning, obviously. I'm functioning. But, well, it might not be. I don't know what level of, but no, I suppose for me, I've just done I've got so many degrees, masters, because I just throw myself into things. I focus because that's how I deal with things. I'm always training.
Yeah.
Even now, I'm always like,
we're the same.
Just always training.
Yeah.
Always have to have that focus. Always have, if I'm left to my own devices, I'll probably be a couch potato. That scares me. I'll probably sit on the sofa all day, not talking to anybody. I've got to fight against that, because that's what I probably want to do.
Yeah.
No, get up and learn stuff and train and know everything you can, just so I can be better for my patients.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm trying to get loads of, well, I've got a lot of qualifications and things, but I'm not trying to get that. I just want to be able to help people. So I need to know. I'm not confident then. It's from my confidence as well, really.
Yeah.
Just for me to say, like, I do know this.
Yeah.
Yes, and if I don't, then I know I don't, and I can help them and send them the right place.
Yeah.
But just trying, so I'm a swan, basically.
Yeah, I love that. And what's it been like working together then? Do you go home and put work aside, or do you still work? Like, what's the challenges? Because I couldn't imagine my husband coming home and having to work with him, even though we're a good team at home. As that...
Well, I think we've worked together for the past 5 or 6 years. When we first met, there's no way we could have imagined.
We didn't think we'd be here doing this. No.
I mean, I was a medical student, and you were doing modelling, and it was literally there's no way you could envisage this moment at that moment.
We've done so much since then, haven't we?
I think it's something because we had such a good relationship always.
Yeah.
Then to go into work was something actually we sort of wanted to do, because just because I trusted you to help me. Because there's things I'm good at and things I'm really bad at. And they tend to be the things that you're better at.
Yeah.
And that means
complement each other. Really.
So I could trust you to do that and help me take that off me. Yeah. Because that held me back.
I can see when he's, I think I'll take that.
I don't organise so well.
Yeah.
And it's like last night, you were up until like midnight last night doing some application for something that I would have left on the desk for 2 years
stop you.
rather than do it. But it was done. You when you start
we're a
things,
CQC registered clinic,
that way,
which is really hard work to do. And I'm the registered manager for it, but I'm adding a new regulation on. We're getting a plastic surgeon in to do some small procedures, but it has to be added onto the application. So I'd started it last night watching maths. I was watching maths and I'm doing it. I'm going to submit this tonight. And I thought I was nearly finished. I thought, no, I'm going to submit this tonight, because otherwise it'll be another 2 days before I sit down. So I just stayed up and I submitted it. So it's all done. But it's
a lot of patience. I think it's patience on my part to you, because you do get very, very focused on things. And this is not going to be, I'm doing this until it's done. Like, well, we could do this. No, I'm doing this. So, and patient on your part with me, because sometimes I can get enthused by things, but not always top and tail them in that sense. So I think
sounds
we have
like
to
our relationship.
It does. Claire's very, very focused, and I'll be, oh my goodness, we could do this, and the next shiny bright thing.
That's the best combo.
Yeah,
I think that's what we like you say. Yeah, it's that. So we try not to work too much at home because of our children. We try not to, but we do occasionally. But I think
when you're passionate about something,
it's so hard.
It's difficult not to. Because me and Claire are really good friends, and it's really difficult to be.
Sometimes we bypass the hello, how's the kids?
When
we go out with our husbands together, because we made them friends as well, so they're good friends. It's really hard, and we have to have them like toilet talks, or get them really drunk and then stop.
You see their face glazing. Sometimes we do that with our children. You see them looking like that.
But they are so encouraging as well. But you mentioned before about, I love the fact that you were up doing that application and that you are so professional, and you believe that everybody deserves that professional to support them, whether it be the outside, the skin, or the inside. Why is that so important to our viewers, to go to someone who has got those standards and that insurance and that,
well, obviously we've got a lot of training, and we're medical professionals, so I don't always know if people, they think they know what that means, but there's a side of you that we act in a professional manner, and it's drummed into us at university and the ethics of things. So to make sure patient safety is ultimate. And that's all we do when we're prescribing medicines. We never prescribe drugs unless it's the last resort. It's all about safety. People think we just write them out, but we don't. You consider everything. There's a lot that goes behind the scenes in the way you train to do these things. And it's that level of trust you have with people. Now, anybody else you go to, if they're not professionals in the medical field, you're not going to get that, because they don't understand that. We're regulated as well. We're regulated by our governing bodies that we get struck off if we do it. We've got to do what they say. For example, a funny example is we've got hyperbaric oxygen chambers in our clinic, and we have to be CQC regulated and regulating, because we've got regulated bodies to operate them. But if they have a hyperbaric oxygen in a gym, the receptionists can operate it.
Wow.
But because we're medics, we can't.
Wow.
Even though we're more qualified and we know when things can go wrong, we can't. They can, because they're not regulated by a body. Our GMC and GPHC regulators will not let us touch them until we've got CQC regulation.
So
and
it's safety for you as well, isn't it? It's
but
safety for
patients
your
don't understand
profession.
that. So they go, oh, we'll go to that one, but we can't. We're really held back.
Yeah.
So everything we do is regulated.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
And we're doing continuing professional development all the time. We do, how many hours did you do? 120 hours last year. I do about that as well.
Yeah.
We have to submit that annually.
I 100% agree. We're seeing a lot on, because we run a community interest company, and the mental health and wellbeing side, the counselling side, and a lot of our funding bids now want to be ACP registered, and we're like, yeah, we'll be ACP registered. We've got this. Whereas some people who are coming up who are doing the counselling courses and offering the counselling courses, it's not regulated and it's not safe for them to be. A lot of people go into the mental health because they've suffered with the mental health, or they've had support and they've still got those things, and it's not safe for them and it's not safe for the people who they're working with. So I know it can be a pain paying extra to be registered with different organisations and different bodies, but it's so worth it, isn't it, for your safety? And
then we have to. We can't practice if we're not. But when you see people like in the aesthetics particularly, like a beautician can inject things into people's faces with no regulatory. They might have insurance, but they're not regulated. We are, so we have to follow a set rules. And that's what you're getting with that. You're getting the safety aspect. You're getting the training. You're getting the professionalism. You're getting the ethics. Is it right to inject at this moment? We're not allowed to do it if people don't need it. So it's, we're not trying to do it for monetary gain. We can't just say, oh yeah, we'll stick it in because we'll make a bit of money on that. We've got to think about the patient. So we're thinking with a different head. We're thinking, does the patient need this? No. So we do refuse people. We do say no, which they get shocked at.
Can imagine.
No, don't think you need anything. Because you don't. It can't make you look better than you do right now. So
that's amazing.
Some people might just stick it in because it's money.
It's payment.
It's a transactional, but we can't because we're medical. We can't do it. So,
absolutely. Wow.
So if you could spill the tea with anybody, who would it be and why?
Do you want to start?
I'm quite a history buff. Okay.
Me too.
So, but the more you look into history, the more you see it is quite male-dominated.
Very.
Particularly classical history. So I love like Julius Caesar, that sort of time of the Romans, that sort of Cicero, that sort of time. And so I thought I'd probably say something like Julius Caesar, but I thought, well, no, I'd love to have a cup of tea with Cleopatra.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Because my friends know me, but not the way that you know me. Okay, you know me the way they don't. I put on a front, I'm a guy to a guy. They don't know everything about me, but you do. So she would know more about Julius Caesar than probably anybody else because they were effectively married, had kids together. So I'd love to hear what he was really like from her, more than from guys that knew him. That would be much more interesting, I think. So I'll say
I love that.
Oh, I love that.
I don't know, I found this a hard one really because being autistic, and I don't mean this in an awful way, just I don't really admire people. Because I know it sounds harsh. I don't mean it like that, but just now I thought about the classic, some sort of scientist, because I'm a scientist as well. I'd love to, speak to someone, and I thought actually I probably wouldn't because I bet they probably ruined the illusion for me. But we think, So I was just thinking, who would? And I thought about my granddad. I lost him when I was 8 years old, and I was very close to him. And it'd be nice to chat with him to see, to show him what I've done and to see where I am now, and how I thought something like that would be.
That would be lovely.
That would be lovely because what he'd think of me now,
It'd be so interesting what you do.
Try not to cry.
And there was a really interesting reel that came out. I think it was a few months ago now, and it was really poignant in that. And it was the same question was asked of adults as it was to children. And it was who would you choose to have a meal with? If you could choose anybody in the world, who would you choose to sit down and have a meal with? And every adult chose a celebrity or a scientist or, sort of a prominent figure. And every child chose their parent or a family member that was special to them. And so I think
that's what I feel.
Your granddad is perfect. Sometimes we don't need these celebrities.
I was thinking about celebrities and I thought,
people, do we?
I'm probably not interested in talking to them.
No.
I was just trying to think. I sat there last night thinking, like, there's someone I really admire, someone I think, and I thought, not really. I see people and I think, don't get me wrong, I think people do great, but I won't be that interested in talking to them. No one really,
that's the great thing.
Or they'd let me down in some way. I think, actually you're not anything. I've got this in my head and I think, like Albert Einstein, you probably won't be able to
very
speak to
strategic,
him.
wasn't it? A choice. I love that. And I love the fact that we have so many people sitting on the couch and their answers are just so amazing. And it's always because of the reason behind and, that is incredible. But we do have a closing tradition on the show. And you're both allowed to answer.
Okay.
Unless it's a team Cal. So you both get, that'll be a 2-pointer. If you were to make us the perfect cup of tea, how would you make it?
Well, I don't really drink a lot of tea now.
Well,
I used
you
to.
were making for
but
somebody
I'm making it
else.
for somebody else. But you are a real tea connoisseur, so
Yeah,
let
so
him
for me,
start.
it would be a high-end loose leaf tea.
Okay.
And so I'd heat the pot, I'd boil the kettle, I'd put it into the pot, leave it for 5 or 6 minutes. You'd have to put the milk in first and then the tea on top of that. So it would be loose leaf, truly brewed in that sense. I think you feel the depth of flavour from that cup of tea.
I'm the complete opposite.
Quite intense.
So I would put the tea bag in, the hot water. Then I put the milk in.
Yes.
And I'd squeeze the tea bag on the side.
We say a hug.
Colour.
Give it a nice hug.
Because I always do that. I put the milk in. And then I squeeze it. He looks at me in horror.
I love this tea.
I like my milk in first. Because I can't gauge it then. Because I'm like, if I put too much milk in, and it's too milky when I put it in. So 100%. I thought, I like the bag in so I can squeeze it a bit. If I need a bit more, you can tell the colour, can't you then?
So we have the civilised and the uncivilised.
Yes.
And that's okay.
I'm just really impressed that I got a doctor to agree.
So did I. Very civilised.
Loose tea. Do you drink? Do you drink loose tea?
I would put my tea bag in the teapot though.
Okay.
And maybe not a loose leaf, but my tea bag would go in, the milk would go in first. That's how my nan taught me how to do it.
Sure.
And she would have had a china cup as well with a little saucer. I am not a china cup person because I have 3 children.
He's got a lot of mugs.
Yeah.
He collects mugs. So
you have a favourite one, don't you?
I don't know you have. You've got quite a few.
Yeah.
He's got favourites, but he likes a Crusette mug, don't you? These orange. We've got about 6 or 7 of them, or orange ones and red.
I feel like this is a thing. I feel like we need to step away from the mug conversation.
And I don't know.
It's going to be a different show.
I know. I feel the pressure because that's what it is. You're right. It's pressure because he said, "So do you want a cup of tea?" And I hope he says no. And he goes, "Do I have to do it in your teapot? Which mug do you want?" And I said, "If you just leave it, I'll do it." Just let him make his own.
That's amazing. What a team. What a team. You
and what
are
a
both
business.
amazing. And we can't wait to learn more. And obviously,
try those supplements.
Definitely 100%. But thank you so much for joining us today. I know we've loved it and I know our viewers will absolutely love it. And all of the social media will be on the description of this episode so everyone can come over and find these amazing products and services.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.